Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about motherfucking, we're gonna talk about lights. Now, lights in general. Now, lights is forms of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Lights is form of consciousness. So, when I was talking about fire and where light come from and things of that nature, lights is form of consciousness. Now, what is light? Where does this light come from? Light comes from frequency. Frequency is like a sound, or frequency is like a frequency, not a sound. Frequency is a thought. Frequency is like a thought. It's like a because you have your own thought in the land of the whole thought. Right? So you got your own piece of thought. So the moment you got your own piece of thought, your own piece of frequency, it became an experience. It became a soul. It became a vibration. Right? So when we want to talk about, but we're just talking about light right now. As far as lights is forms of consciousness. Lights is conscious. Right? Light is the way that you could be consciously aware of something. Whether it's an illusion, whether it's love, whether it's light, whether it's the path to see, whether it's ways of direction, and whether it's the flashlight in the dark, it's ways to see where you're going. You see what I'm saying? So that's light. Now, when we want to talk about what was here first and what was there first, any type of confusion that the human can get into, they're getting into external realm confusion, energy confusion, nature confusion. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking about what's actually natural. They're cutting off what's natural and cutting natural off and just making it nature. You see what I'm saying? And then when you tie it to nature, nature is part of earth. And when we just talk about earth, the earth element itself is part of energy, and energy was the last transition of the three. You know what I'm saying? So before scientists could even get from point A to point B, they're going to have to learn how to be a little bit more metaphysic, a little bit more less dense. And when we talk about lights and shit like that, you can't make something super dense that's not even really dense. And that's what scientists get confused. But I'm going to tell you the actuality of light. Light is consciousness. Now, when we say it comes from a frequency, right? Frequency is a thought. Now, these thoughts, right? These thoughts, they shoot out their frequencies. It's like lines, aka line of events. So a thought is a line of event. When you have a thought, right? You have an idea about something, right? Now, that idea, it can be an event, but if that event has yet to been played out. It's just out there in the land of what they call that. It can be potential. You know what I'm saying? It's in the space of potential. It's in the overall space. That's why you're able to have space. That's why you're able to have a separate space from someone else. That's why it's able to be space between you, because you're your thoughts, because you're your own space. And since it's less dense, it ain't going to be body space. It's going to be overall space. But that's another video. Now, when we talk about your thoughts, now, you start to give it energy, you start to give it soul, start to give it passion. Boom, that light starts to immense, right? So the light gets stronger, so the light is able to be seen, right? So that conscious thought is able to be duplicated and seen, because now we got a vibration. So the vibration is going to give it color. The vibration gives the light color now. So we know when we talk about vibrations and colors, we know vibration, what you're vibrating on. Is you had a vibration frequency of anger, you had a vibration frequency of happiness, you had a vibration frequency of pleasure, you had a vibration frequency of manipulation. Yeah, they all gonna create the color of that thought. Create the color of that thought energy, right? Now, once it starts to go in through the universe, it becomes like a sound. You know what I'm saying? It becomes like a motherfucking sound. And that's when it can start to become into dense and actually be able to be physical or whatever like that. You see what I'm saying? So, when we talk about lights in general, this is what light doing. So, if you know light is consciousness and you know where it comes from now, then you know the higher and less dense the light is, the higher the conscious. The lower the light, the more dense it is, the more heat you get from it, the more transformation you see right in front of it, and things of that nature. The closer it's to you, the more impact it carry, the more dense it is. You see what I'm saying? You know that's the less conscious it is. It's more dealing with a lower vibration conscious. So when you think about it like this, now you're able to know what vibration you're on as just being a human existence. As far as the human existence frequency vibration, you're able to know where the whole where they're vibrating at in general. Now, when look at scientists and things of that nature, they got telescopes to look at lights and shit like that, and to go far out there and to perceive it in the way that they want to perceive it. But you need to know telescopes and things and pictures of that nature and pictures of the globe, you're not seeing what's actually there. You're seeing what we create to appearance to be. But the actual essence of how that look, that's not what we're seeing. Because you won't even be able to really handle it. And so the only way the telescope's going out there getting these big far out space type of pictures and stuff like that, to see it, they're seeing it in a humanistic way, in the only way that they can handle it. But in reality, the human mankind conscious level and the vibration frequency that they're vibrating at in general in this whole collective conscious is too low to even perceive high realms of consciousness like that. Like we said, if we know lights is conscious, we know the higher the light, the higher the conscious. The lower the light, and the more you feel it and experience it, the less the lower the conscious. So we know if we know where other forms of light, we know is dealing with information, right? It's dealing with sounds, thoughts, and information, right? So when you are telling somebody something, or someone is seeing your actions or something like that, you're giving off your light, right? So if you're in a religion, right, and you're giving off the light of that religion, which you're spewing the information of that religion, you're spewing the language, the spells, everything that's involved in that religion, then what you're doing is you're vibrating low, because you're arguing a religion or you're preaching a religion. So you're vibrating low because you're taking that light, what was already in dense, because you feel like you know it, right? And since it's playing through you and you're giving out to others, other people are able to feel it on impact because they hear your words, they see it, they got ways of feeling about it on impact. It don't take them time of thought. It don't take them time and space to themselves to think about it. It took you preaching it into them in their face and shoving it down their throat. So you're vibrating that light really low. And for something that allow a human or allow a mind to be able to do that, then that must have been a low vibrating source in general. So those are very low lights. Religions and all them shit, those are very low lights. And we even know that because a lot of times religions, 100% of the time, religion is backed, the same way how money is backed by gold and silver, religion is backed by the planets. And these planets in this solar system is our lowest lights. These are the lights we're catching the fastest before the mother lights out there. So if people are taking these close vibrational lights and making them even more dense through themselves, then as human mankind, you're vibrating real low. If you get what I'm saying. See, my soul group understand what I'm saying. So when I start to take out my flaming sword and start to kill shit and flame shit, this is not for my soul. This is me and my soul group doing this. You know what I'm saying? To y'all motherfuckers. But for right now, this is like a neutral video. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you want to talk about lights is consciousness. So when you catching a low vibrational light, right? You're catching low vibrational information, low vibrational knowledge. You're even catching low vibrational actions. You have certain religions like Muslims and stuff out here that are even kill for their religion. They're vibrating so low. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we talk about consciousness and talk about lights and things of that nature, so we know as if you're vibrating, for an example, as a human having a human experience, you can only go so close to the sun. The sun got to be that far away for you to even still be able to survive. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's like your level of conscious, the frequency vibration of your mankind vessel that you're vibrating on is only able to access certain conscious levels. So if we're able to understand what is lights and lights is consciousness, then the consciousness we're up under, if we can only go so far there, then you can't even receive a whole broad perspective of the conscious, right? So your whole small point of view of conscious could be diluted and filtered into all kind of other shit because you're catching low vibrational lights, and and to really receive other lights, a lot of times you may need the sun you're up under, because since this being the primary light, a lot of the other lights that's far out, is the only way it's going to hit you is to be filtered through the sun, or be filtered through one of these planets, or if you go out and moon gaze at night, or star gaze. That's the only way you're going to be able to catch lights from other places. But if you're too busy on a day-to-day into this illusion and in this low vibrational light, you're not going to be able to see things. And that one of the key things into seeing things is motherfucking fear. Eradicating all motherfucking fear. Fear blocks. Fear is like sunglasses in the yin realm. You see what I'm saying? Fear blocks you from seeing. Now look at fear for a second. Just look at fear in general. When is every time that you feared something, right? You feared it because you didn't want to experience, right? You didn't want to experience it. So that was the only reason you feared it. Now, what happens when you don't want to experience something because you fear it? What happens after that? You start to build mechanisms on not ever experiencing that. So you start to build a bunch of ideas, thoughts, aka frequencies, aka spirits. You start to build a lot of those around a circumstance that's revolved around fear. So the line of events that you're going to create for yourself, for your soul to experience those vibrations, you're going to experience the vibrations around fear. You see what I'm saying? And fear blocks things, because with fear it enables your sight in the yin realm. Because it blocks your third eye. That's really how you classify your third eye, with fear. Because when you fear things, you don't want to learn nothing new. You don't want to see nothing new. You scared to experience. So you end up not experiencing what you think. I mean, what your spirit wanted, what your soul wanted to experience. You know what I'm saying? But like for an example, a person who got minor fear, like you try to kick some science and some metaphysics to them, and then they'd be like. They'll say some shit like, oh no, I don't want to learn that because of whatever religion they into, whatever like that. So how any higher source or any light going to be able to come to them if they putting on sunglasses every time they receive these lights, every time they up under these lights? You see what I'm saying? How are they going to get any outside knowledge, right? If they fear, aka fear shit. See, when you scared, when you fear, eradicate. Don't fear shit. How you gonna see something? If you fearing certain other shit, then God is only going to give you what you can handle. So if you already in the fear vibration, fear mechanism, God already see that you can't even handle me showing you something that's unordinary. Because if I showed you it, you're going to fear it anyway. And you're not going to come to the grips and the conclusion of what it actually is. You see what I'm saying? Fear, when you eradicate fear, that enables sight. Because you're not scared to see something, so you're going to start seeing. But when you start to express fear, start to get too much into your motherfucking religion, start to get scared to do certain things because of society and shit like that, and you up under fear, then it blocks you from seeing things, because your line of events and your actions be predicated towards not seeing things. And you think it's fear. But you're fearing an illusion, and you fear an appearance of something that's not really what it is. So you always going to see that appearance of it, and then you're going to run away from it every time you see that appearance. But if you stop the fucking fear and take the fucking glasses off and look at the motherfucking shit to see what the fuck it is, it may not be something to fear, and it may be something you could just walk straight through anyway. You see what I'm saying? And you may see some shit that you never seen before. And that's always the case. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, people have to understand too. And it's another thing too. We got to get the fuck up out of here. It's time for my soul group to get the fuck up out of here. It's time to leave, detach from motherfucking Earth. It's time to leave Earth. You probably wondering like, how you do that? Detach from thought and emotions and feelings from the people, places, and things that's motherfucking here. I don't give a fuck how hard it is to do. We in 5D now. Things shouldn't be that motherfucking hard to do. If you got a lot of attachments and it seems harder to do things than other people, then your ass is still vibrating low and you still in 3D and it's still that a lot of things you gotta detach from before you even rise your fucking vibrations. But right now, this is for my motherfucking soul group, and it's time for us to detach from this motherfucking earth. This vessel is the last thing that's keeping us fucking here. We ain't coming back to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like the motherfucking Galactic Federation of Light, they done motherfucking took over the whole space, dried up the. You ever seen like the movie Galactus? I mean, movie Silver Surfer and fucking Galactus. That's what the fuck these motherfuckers is doing. These fuckers is planet eaters. You know what I'm saying? Star seeds get a planet and planets, and they come here and drink up and eat up everything, all the nutrients, all the fruits and labors, all the minerals and vitamins of the motherfucking planet. Then once the planet gets sucked dry and look like a deserted land, motherfucker, they leave and go some fucking where else. And that's what the Galactic Federation of Light is doing. And those spirits is and beings is they come through here as vessels too. And these are the motherfuckers that's in the government, galactic government. You see what I'm saying? The government here. And motherfucker, the same as above, so below. Same way you could buy fucking a house and still not own it. You can't even own your land. Motherfucker, the same way up there. They own the motherfucking space. So they own your space down here the same way they own the space up here. We gotta detach from Earth in general to go back to other realms of realities and civilizations and shit like that, and get. We gotta leave here. They didn't got this shit. The moment I had to buy some motherfucking RAM, some motherfucking more space for my computer, I knew it was a wrap. These motherfuckers is selling space. You don't even own the space you're in no more. They own Galactic Federation of Light as above, own the motherfucking space of the solar system as below. These motherfuckers government. They own the fucking space. Nigga, the moment I had to put 2 fucking quarters in the motherfucking air machine, when I got a fucking flat tire, I knew it was over. They're selling air, bruh. Do you understand? They're selling space. Listen, water and these elements is more important than fucking people. Nigga, when you ain't got a glass of water for a whole motherfucking week, motherfucker, I bet you need a glass of water before you want to see a person, before you think you need another fucking person, right? But since it's water, you look past it every day, right? So, you see something like you gotta buy RAM and shit like that, you look past it every day. No, think about that shit. Think about the realm of reality you in. Think about the spirits and the intellectual beings that run this shit. Nigga, you just paid for space. It's time for us to get the fuck up out of Earth, man. Let's get the fuck out of Earth with these fucking vampires, these fucking galactic planet eaters. They eating up planets, they drinking up the fucking planets, and I don't want to come back here. Me and my soul group not coming back here. You want to come back? Look, you gonna transform from this vessel and come back here in a time that is deserted. You ain't even gonna be able to live for 5 years, cause everything gonna be fucking, all the natural resources gonna be fucking going off this planet. They done took it for themselves and selling it, and it ain't gonna be no more to sell. Then they already know how to fucking leave, but your ass stuck to shit here. You don't even know how to even live in a realm of reality that don't depend on working for money or anything like that. So your ass, you want to come back here, and you gonna come back here in a motherfucking time. It's gonna be so fucking hard to live here. The whole earth gonna look like a third world fucking country. Yeah, we getting to that motherfucking time. It may take 1,000 more years, but your ass gonna experience, cause your ass so attached to this vessel, your ass coming back 1,000 times. And your ass gonna come in that time. It's gonna be hard to live even 7 years on this motherfucker. Man, we ain't coming back to this motherfucker. Not my soul group. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.